The history behind SquatMax starts with the history behind me. I was an overachieving NFL running back. I grew up in Philadelphia and everything was in the street. You played street football. All the sporting events were in traffic, and I was hit by a car. It turned out that I had probably a herniated disc. You didn't get a lot of imaging back then. I would have back issues for starting about 8th grade all the way through high school, college. My back was so bad even in college, I would sometimes have to get cortisone injections, but performance training was so critical to my success. I'm a unique story. I went to a small Division I AA school in Pennsylvania called Bucknell University.
Henesey was the leading rusher in Bucknell University history.
I'm only about 5'9.5", maybe 5'10" in the program, but I got up to about 220 pounds and I was running a 4.5 40-yard dash. The barbell back squat was such an important part in my ability to improve my own athleticism. I would always notice a difference when I couldn't free weight back squat and I was limited to, leg presses and different machines. I didn't have the same explosiveness. My vertical jump wasn't the same. Fast forward about 20 years after my NFL career came to an end, my midlife crisis, I'd like to say, at age 44, that's where SquatMax came in. Within the first year of opening up my gym, I started coming up with prototypes of what now is the SquatMax-MD, one of the most recognized belt squats. It's in 35 countries right now, used by New York Yankees, New York Jets, Manchester United, the soccer team. So I tracked everything I did. I would throw things into my equation, back squats, step-ups, and I had in my mind what worked to get athletes more athletic. So in 10 years, we had produced over 20 professional athletes. And for some reason, MLB player Raul Ibanez, who was 40 years old at the time, had just been let go by the Phillies. And most people said he was done. They didn't think he had anything left in the tank. And he came to my gym. I'm like, dude, you got more in the tank and I'm gonna get you faster. So Raul came to me. We had 2 great years together. He had a tremendous year with the Yankees.
You really gotta bury him, especially at this part.
Fly ball, right field, pretty deep, back to the wall. He's done it again!
And then at 41, he would go on to tie the major league record for most home runs with someone over 41, and he tied the record by Ted Williams. He's probably the biggest proponent of it, playing DH a lot of games, and he actually had it under the dugout. And in between innings, when he was getting ready to hit, he would go down, put some bands on it, and do 10 to 12 real fast reps because he felt it activated his entire body. A guy that ties a major league record was using SquatMax under the dugout. That's how good it makes you feel. I knew from my experience when I was forced to use fixed machines, I wanted to maintain that ability where I had to stabilize a free weight load. And I knew because of my own back problems, that load needed to be vertical. But that's why SquatMax is such a magnificent design. And it was instantaneously. As soon as I came up with the prototype, I tried it and it was like magic. I felt all my glutes. It felt like that compound barbell back squat that I was trying to create. So research was very important to me. How can I duplicate the closest I can get to that original barbell back squat? So one of the first research studies that I did is I sent probably 25 letters to universities that did research. And I was like, please, I got this belt squat design. I want to make sure that it works the lower body similarly or the same as a barbell back squat. Because I had my suspicions on other designs out there because they're anchored to a fixed point. There's no way they could get into the glutes. If that study didn't show that it worked just like a barbell back squat, and this was an amazing study. This was athletes, they used the same intensity weight where they could get 8 reps on a barbell back squat and the same weight where they could get 8 on SquatMax. So this was apples to apples. And after the study, it was just like that barbell back squat. And longevity is everything, right? If someone blows out a knee, all that work, all that effort chasing their dream in their sport ends. Widener University did a head-to-head comparison against the leading cable belt squat out there and the leading lever arm belt squat. And SquatMax had like 50% more VMO activation. So it's really cool to, this creation that I came up with. I'm a 55-year-old guy with 8 knee surgeries, They told me I was gonna need my knees replaced when I was 40. Thank you, SquatMax, I have this strong VMO and my knees feel great. But I know the rate limiting factor is always gonna be your leg strength. And that's, you can't dream this up. Like, this is the ultimate leg exercise device in the world. And it does what a belt squat was designed to do. It deloads the spine completely. SquatMax has been on the market 12 years. That's what people forget. This is a proven device. I named the SquatMax-MD about 5 years ago, based on a quote by that MLB player, Raul Bañez, that we were talking about. After he hit the 29 home runs, he actually was quoted in a sporting magazine and said, SquatMax is the fountain of youth for me. It gives me the same strength benefits as a barbell back squat, but it also gives me mobility in my hips and it decompresses my spine. Bingo, MD. So SquatMax, it allows you to do a maximum effort squat and gives you mobility and decompression. It's now being used by 7-foot NBA, some of the top NBA players. They can now get the benefits of a free weight squat. There's no way in hell that they would be able to put a barbell on their back. And teams are finally moving away. The New York Jets have 5 SquatMaxes. You have the opinion leaders, the greatest power lifters in the world, some of the top professional athletes say this is the greatest performance piece I've ever used. Then you got the medical community, the guys that are experts in biomechanics saying this is the only belt squat that makes sense if you're trying to preserve your joint health, your low back health, your knee health. It's the best belt squat. That's what I've said many times. It's bringing more bigger and beautiful asses to the masses. This is an absolute great partnership for everyone involved.